A very, very warm welcome to my information-packed show today. We have quite a lot of very interesting, a lot of it explosive information. Yeah, and the rest of the information is information that may make one go, aha, finally, I get it. And not because you're not clever. And not because you were slow before. No. You're finally given that link. The missing link. So shall we call today's show The Missing Link? And oh my. It is going to be super fascinating. Right. Let's get down to it immediately. First of all, I'd like to start by apologizing for giving you guys fake information. I would like to sincerely apologize for making the mistake of calling a high court judge a magistrate. That was the false information I gave. And I extend my apology to Justice Lawrence Mugambi, because there's a very big difference, as one of you pointed out to me. Yeah, muliniambia ukweli. Nipate my feelings, nikose kupata my feelings. You gave me the facts. Thank you. Okay, there's a huge difference between a judge of the High Court and a magistrate. And these contempt of court charges were convicted by Justice Lawrence Mugambi, not magistrate. Okay? I made that very unfortunate blunder in a previous video. Now, I have credible information that an impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is already with the relevant characters to activate it in Parliament. Now, I'm aware that this is something that has been threatened for a very long time, and I will not blame Kenyans for getting bored when they hear that word impeachment against Gachagua. Yet again, I will not blame anybody for getting bored. However, it has never reached where it has now reached. Yeah, it looks like it's serious. And some people are saying it's diversionary tactics to divert our attention away from the fact that we're being robbed in broad daylight over the Adani manenos. Okay? However, on our show today, we're going to discuss something related but very different, but also very important. Did it ever cross your mind that there is somebody backing and financing Rigathi Gachagua to rock the boat, to rock the UDA boat? Did that ever cross your mind? Now, before we dive into that, let me just mention the other major issue we're going to tackle on the show today. Or is it major character? Now, Morara Kebaso, everybody knows who that is, has now triggered the steps required to form a brand new political outfit, a brand new political party. Now, in the opinion of many, including yours truly, it is too early. You see, everything in politics is very heavily dependent on how you organize your timing. If your timing is just right, your chances of success escalate tremendously. The chances of success become much higher. Okay? But that's not the issue I'd like us to focus on. I'd like us once again to focus on the issue of how this brand new political outfit is going to be financed. Now, of course, Bwana Kebaso's countrywide tours, civic education and all, are already being financed by ordinary Kenyans. But there's a major super fascinating issue here, that I want to bring to your attention. And I'd also like us to look back in history to see how other political outfits were financed at a time when the country was facing a major crisis or crossroads. I'm sure you'll hear a lot of things you have never heard before, and I'm sure you have never seen in any history book you have read. Okay? So that is something to really look forward to. But let us kick off this show with the Gachagua manenos. And let us immediately cut to the chase. Is there somebody financing Gachagua? And if so, who is financing Gachagua? Now, I think it is important to appreciate the fact that there must be a reason why Ruto, aides, and insiders are nervous about Gachagua. Because Gachagua as an individual is not a major political force in our country. Is not. However, I believe we can very clearly see telltale signs that this thing is much deeper than most of us think. You know, unfortunately, to be a good political analyst, you need the memory of an elephant. And let me remind you of something which didn't quite make sense, which happened some months ago. Somebody who is very close to former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, a big supporter of the former president, a blogger very well known, Pauline Jogo. Do you remember the time that we were told she was assisting Rigathi Gachagua with some of his communication strategy? Do you remember that time? Some people even said that Pauline Jogo had crossed the floor from Uhuru Kenyatta to William Ruto. I'm sure you remember that time. Now that story just went quiet. But the mystery behind it all still lingers, still remains to date. Now there you have it. A very important clue to tell us this thing should not just be taken on face value, what we can see on the surface. No! It is much deeper than that. Now the next question I'd like us to ask ourselves is, who would possibly sponsor Gachagua? Okay? ODM? Azimio? I don't think so. Actually, the financial muscle power behind this Gachagua campaign that has really unsettled Ruto and his men must be from within. Must be somebody who has sponsored UDA in the past, and who is now disgruntled, very unhappy with the monster they created, the Ruto presidency. Because remember, the Ruto presidency is not friendly to business. It is not friendly to corporates. I believe that is rather obvious. And you know, business interests are very powerful. Never make the mistake of underestimating them. You know, we have a disease in Kenya where people assume that it is only people who are armed, like the security boys, who are powerful and dangerous. That's not true. Throughout history, the most powerful and dangerous opponent to any political outfit is somebody or some organization that is moneyed, has money, has huge finances, has a war chest of finances, to achieve whatever objectives they have. Okay? Next question. Are these interests local or foreign based? Okay? That is an important question. And the answer to that question, in my opinion, will blow your mind. I have reason to believe that that interest is foreign. Yeah. You see, Ruto is in a political situation that is not new. In fact, it is rather common. And this is where you have many different interests, or a few interests, 2 or 3, who backed you to become president, and you're trying to satisfy them all now that you're president, and it proves to be quite a challenge, especially because you as president, you have your own list, which you told yourself, one day when I become president, I must do 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then on top of that, you have some other people breathing down your neck, and they really want their things done fast. And many of those things they want done are unpopular to the masses. I think now you're beginning to get me. And therefore, it becomes a huge challenge. You end up in a position where you're trying very hard, but you're pleasing nobody. In fact, you're turning your former backers into your enemies. That is precisely the position Ruto is in right now. And it is a very dangerous, extremely deadly situation to be in. And therefore, it is hardly surprising that one of these backers has decided to rock the boat in a major way in the hope that they'll attract the attention of the president. And we need to understand that there could be a lot of urgency here. Why? Because of the Gen Z protests, because of the rising protests countrywide. And therefore these people would feel, if we don't move fast, other people will beat us to it. So we'd better move fast so that we are ahead of the game. By the time the Kenyan people get organized, we'll already have brought about the change that will favor us the most. Now you can understand how explosive that revelation is. President Ruto has many problems. Many people don't believe that. Many people believe that he is firmly in control. Many people believe that sasa tupange mambo ya 2027. Nothing like that. The man has many problems. And every day, he himself is creating even more problems. Let me give you a quick example. The president was recently in Germany. And you know what happened in Germany? Ruto came out with a statement that he has organized 250 jobs for Kenyans. And then he stepped on all the wrong toes. Not only that, we discovered later that the details, the devil is always in the details, that the details of that agreement, one of the points that was really emphasized was that the Kenyan government was going to assist Germany to deport some Kenyans who are already there. Now, how do you think the Kenyans in Germany responded? Less than 48 hours after Ruto had left, if you flew into Germany and you started looking for Kenyans, you'd be told that they were all meeting somewhere. And if you went to that place, you know what you'd hear? Ruto must go. Ruto must go. And this is in a faraway foreign country. This is not Kenya. And staying on point, these Kenyans in Germany, whatever you want to call them, many of them are there legally. But even if you want to call them illegal immigrants, it doesn't matter. These Kenyans who are in Germany have money. Okay? And if they come together to raise money to support something in Kenya, that will remove Ruto legally, you can guess what will happen. They'll be able to raise a lot of money very quickly. So once again, Ruto has created even more problems for himself. Because if he had stayed away from Germany, this would not have happened. You know, people are busy. Especially in Maju, people are very busy. They would not have the time. But since he went there, akachokoza vitu, people came out. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. And these people all have a few euros here and there that they can put to good use to ensure that what they're calling for happens. That Ruto goes. Anyway, let us proceed. Now, Morara Kebaso is starting a brand new political party. Now, very quickly before we proceed, I want us to go back into history, to the days when Kenya was about to get her independence. And we had two major political outfits in the country, KANU and KADU, Kenya African Democratic Union, KADU, and Kenya African National Union, KANU. Now, KADU sponsorship, the people who are financing the party, were the white settlers within the country who wanted a majimbo system. They didn't want a united Kenya. They wanted very strong, autonomous regional governments. And of course, this made perfect sense. In such a situation, they would still remain powerful. The Dalameres in Nakuru and the other big white settler families, most of them at the time, were in Karen. And I believe we all know that KADU lost the elections. That the other party, KANU, won the elections. Now the financing of KANU, was tricky. Because according to official sources, KANU was being financed by Mwalimu Julius Kabarage Nyerere, who was president of the then already independent neighboring Tanzania. Now, of course, that is not true. Nyerere already had his own very major financial challenges. And this is one of the reasons why he relied heavily on China to support the young emerging Tanzania and his socialist ujamaa system of governing. Okay? And so, Nyerere did not have the deep pockets that would be required to finance a national party called KANU in Kenya. And so the question is, where did the money come from? Now, there was a member of the KANU party called Thomas Joseph Odhiambo Mboya, better known as Tom Mboya. And Tom Mboya had American friends. Now, I don't want to go too deeply into this, but those who have followed my series here, Mboya, it was more than an assassination. It's available on this channel. It's a whole playlist. Very interesting series, Kumekucha series. If you've never caught it, make sure you make a date to catch it. I'll make sure I put a link in the description area below. But what I can say for now is that Mboya's American friends fully financed KANU. And what KANU did was to use Mwalimu Julius Nyerere as a front. Because think about it. It would not make good PR for KANU to reveal that their finances were coming from some Mzungus. And KANU wanted to remove Mzungus from power in Kenya. Let alone the other issues about those American friends, which I'm avoiding at all costs. So, Nyerere was used as a front, but the money came from America. Okay? Now that is a very important story from history, because it illustrates and shows us very clearly that the financing of political outfits can be a very complex matter. It is never black and white. Never ever. But now we have Morara Kebaso leading the Gen Z generation, because he's the very first Gen Z to register or to attempt to register a political party. Leading the nation and the Gen Z into the new Kenya. And already we are seeing there are a lot of ordinary Kenyans right across the world who are heavily financing Morara Kebaso right now. Okay? However, what will happen tomorrow when the elections are just around the corner and we have other political outfits emerging? Will they be financed by the same ordinary Kenyans? That's very possible. However, what I'm also very sure will happen is that some wolves will come into play. People from the other side, people from the bad guys, will also finance their own young Gen Z candidates. And of course, it is not going to be very easy to identify the real financiers of these new leaders, who I'm sure Kenyans will love, especially what we have been through and what we're still going through with the Ruto presidency, which is a nightmare for all intents and purposes. But the real financiers of our politics, I can assure you, will always remain mysterious. Just like the real financiers of the Adani airport takeover. Just like those guys are very mysterious. We should also look forward to very mysterious financiers. Now, finance is very important. As boring as it may sound, money makes the world go round. Money makes the difference between an efficient, well-run, well-organized political party and one that is disorganized and going nowhere. Money makes a difference, whether we like it or not. Indeed, we investigative journalists have always known that for you to solve a mystery, there is something very simple you can do, yet very complex. Follow the money. To solve this Adani issue, because there have been rumors flying all over the place, just rumors, to get to the bottom of it and to see it clearly, all one needs to do is to successfully follow the money. And of course, the people behind this are not idiots. They have covered their tracks. Registered shell companies here and there, making sure they are not linked in any circumstances to this Adani deal. However, there is nothing under the sun that can remain hidden forever. There is nothing under the sun that cannot be exposed at the right time and at the right season. And indeed, this is what my latest, very latest special report is all about. What Ruto and his cronies never want Kenyans to discover about Adani. And in this special report, you will get information that will just blow your mind away. Because I even give examples. There are even certain appointments. If you want to do anything in government, especially dirty things, you need your people in certain places. Okay? Maybe let me talk about that a little. The difference between Ruto and Uhuru, which made all the difference in the 2022 presidential elections, was that Ruto knew something that Uhuru did not know. Ruto knew that you can penetrate a very powerful, important organization in the country, not by going directly to the leader, but by talking to the people who answer to that leader, his juniors. Okay? And this is exactly how Ruto penetrated. This is very sensitive information. This is exactly how Ruto penetrated security organs and some other very powerful organizations in the country. And it is super fascinating. Moi used to use the same tactics. When Moi first came into power, he did not change the heads of various parastatals and government organizations. What he did, which nobody paid any attention to, was that he changed their deputies. The deputy managing director here, the deputy of so and so in a security organization there, etc., etc. And by doing this, He took full control when Kenyans were still looking at the leaders of those organizations. Sinjoroge is still in charge of that parastatal. There's no problem. Huh? Anyway, back to what I was saying. These are the same tactics that Ruto has used. And I follow a very interesting trail to reveal to you this information in my latest special report. Okay? And you'll totally understand this Adani thing. And you'll understand why it is not going away anytime soon. Court orders or no court orders, this will be a very difficult thing to uproot. It'll be like trying to uproot a Mugumo tree. This Adani thing, mark my words. When you get hold of this super sensitive special report of mine, you will understand. You'll also understand why people like Opio and I, the new energy CS, is saying things which are making our ears ring. We don't believe. Is this Opio and I talking like this? No, it's not possible. What? How now? You will totally understand that. I believe the latest is that even the CS Finance, Bwana John Badi, failed to honor a date with the Senate. He has suddenly become very arrogant. Mtadu, he was supposed to appear at the Senate to explain a few things to Kenyans. He didn't show up. Anyway, you'll understand all this behavior, and you'll totally understand what is really going on in the back rooms and in the background. Now you can see the details of how to order this on your screens right now, repeated in the description area below and also in the comments area below in this video on YouTube. I suggest that you act very fast. I'm almost getting the number I wanted. Because of the sensitivity of this material, it is not going out to too many people. Therefore rush and make sure you avoid disappointment and get your hands on this very, very explosive information. Only Kenya shillings 2,999. Only. And pop, you will have this report in your inbox. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.